Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Writer's Mind. I'm your host, CP Balois. Today, I just want to talk a little bit about, how our stories have to make logical sense, and do we go more for the emotion or for the storytelling? Okay, what I mean by this, like I said, as many know, I cover soap operas, and I'm huge in media. Love movies, shows, things like that. And it's easy when we watch a movie, like I said, we get inspired by them. But there's always plot holes. There's almost never because you have a certain amount of time. You only have like 90 minutes or 75 minutes or however long to tell your story. If it's too long, like say The Godfather, awesome movie, love The Godfather, but not many people are going to want to spend 3 to 4 hours watching a movie in there. I think Star Wars Episode 3, there's a rumored the opening battle is an hour and a half, and fans want to see it, but most fans want to see like something like that, in the theater. And that's what's always kept in mind with movies. It's got to be fast. Got pop, 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 chop, 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 and it has to tell the story and convey it. So there will be plot holes. There will be continuity issues that may not know because we don't know the behind the scenes story. We don't know what the planning was. And that's when novelizations come out. They fill in those blanks. That's why the novelizations so much, because they tell the different side of the stories, whether it's based in the book or the book is based in the movie. It fills in so much more. Maybe it changes some things, but it's kind of cool. And you get to see both of them and it makes a more complete picture. Um, but when you have serial shows like soap operas, we have to do like 200 to 300, new shows a year, 5 days a week. It's hard to have filler. And it's hard not to have filler episodes where they just kind of just casually talk. Where it's not action. That it's slower paced. Use like fantasy books, like Lord of the Rings movies are great at that kind of the pacing. They get the action, but they also have very slow moments. But when you look at things like soap operas, they have more time, so they can put more in than a movie or a normal TV show that has when you have 23 episodes a year, now it's down to 10 or 6 or whatever. It's a fraction of what it used to be, and it's not necessarily filler. Sorry guys, it's they're hard pressed to find some filler episodes in some shows. At least in my opinion, I think I missed 20 episode seasons. And it's and that's where it kind of comes in, because you have continuity. You always have continuity issues. You always have logic. But shows like movies, soap operas, sitcoms, they like to play on the emotion. But it's more the emotion in the storyline. Get you invested in the characters. Like you feel that something goes wrong, you want to cry. Something goes right, you cheer. Wrestling's the same way. You're in for the act. You're emotionally attached to it. You want to see people succeed. You want to see certain people fail, and it's emotional pull. They draw the emotion out, so they tend to get sloppy storylines. It's like they'll sit there, and they'll be missing points or inconsistencies, and we watch them. We'll point it out, but then we sit down to write our books, our stories. We don't have that luxury. We can't, it's not a luxury, and it is a luxury because we can tell our story. We can flesh out. We can fill in those gaps. We have to make sure we have a logical sequence of events that makes sense. That it's not, we're not skipping this, skipping that, and changing this plot point halfway here to this plot point. We have to have a consistent run. And it's great for us because it allows us to tell our story, to actually fill in all those details we might miss in a movie or miss on a show. We don't have to press to get so much out that we have continuity errors. We're not pressing. We have to write so many, pages per day that, we're going to forget something. But it is also harder in a way because it's almost like a different standard. We're held to a higher standard way. Entertainment can do with this because it has limited time frame. But for us, if we don't have the story written right, if we're missing continuity, if we're missing plot holes, our readers let us know. It's like some are gentle, some not so gentle. And so it is what it is. It's like a higher standard, but it's a different standard. It's like, standards here for movies, then ours is a little bit higher, but it's a different one though. Because it's different media. We're not condensed into a finite space. We can expand. We can write a 1,000-page book. We can write a 100-page book. We can write the stories done. We're not trying to fit it into a finite season or an episode or a movie slot. And it's good kind of difference. That's what I like about the writing, because we have to tell an accurate story. We have to have engaging storylines. We have to have engaging plot points and characters. We have to have it all. And it's kind of fun because it's just more room to play. As great as it is to see things on TV and the directors say they have fun, they love to create, it's the actors love to play. And I'm not fully get that, and hey, that's awesome. It's one of my experience at some point. But as a writer, this is our chance to play. So I don't look at it as a bad thing, but for us, yeah, we had to put more effort into that because we have no excuse because we had no time constraints. So when we dive in, and we tell the story, and it connects with people, and they love it, and you can sit back and say, someone may like this character, someone like that character, we're like, okay, cool, that wasn't a plot hole. Okay, cool, I fixed that. Oh, this, and it goes smooth. It's great. People actually love that, and they're not, not focusing on a plot hole, take them out of the story. That's great. It's wonderful escapism. We've done our jobs. So it's a fun experience. It's a different experience. But let me know in the comments below. Do you worry, obsess about keeping the mistakes out, or do you just kind of let it flow and go back and work on it later on? What's your process? Do you hold yourself to a higher standard than others? Do you hold yourself to the same standard? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And always, thank you for your time. And until next time, have a great one.